All right, let's dive in. Today, we're looking at a vehicle that honestly isn't trying to be the fastest or the most stylish car on the block. Instead, the 2026 Honda CR-V Hybrid has a mission that's, well, maybe a little surprising.
So get this. This is the core philosophy, straight from Honda. And that really sets the stage, doesn't it? We're not talking about neck-snapping acceleration or turning heads with crazy designs. We're talking about a tool, an appliance almost, designed to make your daily routine just easier.
That is the big question, right? It's one thing to have a cool mission statement, but it's a whole other thing to actually build a car that does it. So that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to break down exactly how Honda engineered this thing to hit that very specific target, piece by piece.
Okay, so it all kicks off with this one core idea. The entire design, everything about it, is a deliberate choice focused on one thing: taking the stress out of driving.
You have to understand, every single choice they made, from the way the engine feels to how the suspension is tuned, it was all measured against this one goal. The idea is to create a car that you just don't have to fight with, one that feels, like a dependable partner on the road.
And this is where the rubber meets the road, literally. It's built for the daily grind. We're talking about stop-and-go traffic, hauling the family around, those long, boring highway trips, and yeah, even dealing with slick roads or bumpy city streets that we all know and love.
All right, so let's pop the hood and talk about the engine, because it's not just about the specs on a sheet of paper, right? It's all about how that powertrain serves the car's main mission of being smooth and consistent. So what you're looking at is a 2.0-liter engine, and it's working together with two electric motors. When they all team up, you get a combined 204 horsepower. Now that's a really solid number for a car this size, giving you plenty of juice to feel confident without being, scary.
But here's the thing about that 204 horsepower. It's not tuned to just throw you back in your seat. It's all about being predictable and quiet. When you're just cruising around town at lower speeds, the CR-V is often running on just the electric motors, which makes the cabin super quiet and the power delivery just incredibly smooth.
And that brings us to this number, 7.9 seconds to 60. Now, what's so interesting about that? Well, it's plenty quick to merge onto the highway for sure, but it gets there without any kind of jarring, aggressive launch. It's this steady, confident build of speed that perfectly matches the car's whole personality. It's a great example of how smoothness itself is becoming a new kind of luxury.
Okay, so we've talked engine. Let's talk about the actual feel of the drive. Because the physical experience inside the car is designed to just double down on that theme of calm and control. See, Honda really nailed the basics here. The suspension is just fantastic. It's soaking up bumps and potholes, so you always feel stable and planted. The steering is light and easy, which totally takes the work out of navigating a crowded parking lot, but it still feels solid and reassuring when you're out on the highway.
And, for just sheer practicality, it can tow 1,000 pounds. Look, you're not going to be hauling a giant boat with this thing, but for a little utility trailer with some gear or maybe a bike rack, it's absolutely perfect. It fits right in with its role as a do-it-all kind of vehicle.
All right, let's open the door and step inside, because this whole idea of calm, practical consistency, it carries right on through to the cabin.
Inside, it's all about one thing: making sense. The dashboard is clean, and you get actual physical knobs for the important stuff, right where you'd want them to be. That cool honeycomb mesh that runs across the dash is a really nice touch, and there's a ton of legroom in the front and the back. It's just a really easy space to get into and just go.
And check this out for utility. Even with all the seats up and full of people, you can still cram 11. That's right, 11 carry-on suitcases in the back. That's a huge amount of space for your weekly grocery run or packing out for a family trip.
But then you fold those rear seats down, and the space just becomes massive. You can get up to 29 carry-ons back there. It just shows you how flexible this thing can be when you really need to haul something big.
And yeah, of course, it's got all the tech you'd want. You've got a 9-inch touchscreen, you've got wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and as you go up in the different versions, you start seeing things like a wireless charging pad and even Google Navigation built right in. All of it is designed to just work without being a big distraction.
Okay, which brings us to the two big questions everyone always has. What's it going to cost me, and how much am I going to spend on gas?
So pricing kicks off right around $37,000, and it can go up to about $43,500. This puts it smack dab in the middle of the compact SUV world, and that price really reflects what it is: a super practical, balanced hybrid that's all about real-world use. Now, this is where the hybrid part really shines: fuel economy. The front-wheel drive model is expected to get about 40 miles per gallon combined, and it's especially good in the city, where you might see something like 43 mpg, because all that starting and stopping lets the electric motors do a lot of the heavy lifting. But, and this is a really important but, we need to talk about real-world numbers. Some independent tests on the highway have shown a result closer to 31 mpg. That's a realistic number to expect if you're doing a lot of long-distance driving and higher speeds, and it's just a good, transparent piece of info to have.
So when you put it all together, what do you get? The 2026 Honda CR-V Hybrid isn't out there chasing fads or trying to be something it's not. It's just delivering on a simple promise: to be a consistent, well-designed tool that makes your everyday life a little bit easier. And that kind of leaves us with one final thought. In a world that is obsessed with aggressive styling and crazy performance numbers, the CR-V Hybrid is taking a totally different path. It really makes you stop and ask yourself, what do I actually need? What's really important for the car I have to count on every single day?